What if I told you that a kid from the Bronx, once living in a shelter,
Kai was homeless and had to live in a shelter?
He grew up in the shelter, bro. He was in the shelter, bro. I don't tell nobody that. I still have shelter sheets in my crib in New York.
would become one of the most powerful streamers in the world, not just by being entertaining, but by mastering the strategy behind the screen?
Kai Cenat isn't like most Twitch streamers.
What if I told you that Kai Cenat didn't just blow up on Twitch? He rewrote the blueprint of modern streaming success. From viral skits to 24/7 broadcasts, and even dethroning legends. This is the story of how Kai Cenat turned raw talent, calculated moves, and relentless hustle into a streaming empire worth over $10 million, all before the age of 23. Let's dive deep into the life, grind, and genius of a man who refused to settle for average. The humble origins. Kai Carlos Cenat was born on December 16, 2001, in New York City and raised in the Bronx. He grew up in a household with a twin sister and two brothers, raised by a hardworking single mother. Life wasn't always stable. At one point, following his parents' separation, Kai and his family lived in a shelter in Georgia before eventually returning to the Bronx. This chapter of his life was gritty, unstable, and emotionally taxing. But this foundation, surviving hardship, craving connection, and needing a creative outlet, would later shape his fiercely driven personality. As a child, Kai always stood out for his high energy, humor, and charisma. While some saw this as disruptive, especially in school, he saw it as fuel. As early as middle school, he started filming short skits on his mom's phone and uploading them to Facebook. These weren't polished, but they captured attention. People laughed, shared, and asked for more. Social media wasn't just a hobby, it was an escape route, a glimpse of a life where he could finally be seen and celebrated. The rise on YouTube. By 2018, when Kai was just 16, he made the bold decision to start a YouTube channel. Inspired by the creators he watched, he knew he could bring something different to the table, a street-smart, comedic, no-filter brand of content that resonated with Gen Z. He uploaded vlogs, pranks, challenge videos, and eventually content centered around his life in college. But college would become a crossroad. Kai was attending Morrisville State College for business administration, but juggling YouTube with school quickly became overwhelming. He wasn't just skipping class, he was sacrificing his dream every day. He wasn't fully investing in it. Eventually, he dropped out. A controversial move at the time, but in hindsight, it was a masterstroke. Kai wasn't just trying to make it on YouTube, he was trying to dominate it. AMP and the power of collaboration. In 2020, Kai joined forces with the YouTube collective AMP, Any Means Possible, which included creators like Duke Dennis, Agent 00, and Phantom. While Kai wasn't one of the original founders, his inclusion was electric. He brought a chaotic, fearless energy that made every AMP video go viral. From jumping in pools on a dare to taking charge of skits, Kai quickly became the standout personality in the group. AMP was more than just content. It was branding, marketing, cross-promotion, and scale. Together, they reached millions. But Kai wasn't content to just be the loudest in the room. He wanted to be the most powerful. And that meant entering the world of live streaming. Twitch takeover. In early 2021, Kai made his Twitch debut. Unlike many creators who pivot to live streaming haphazardly, Kai came with a plan. He wasn't starting from zero. His loyal YouTube audience followed him over to Twitch, giving him a strong base from day one. Kai understood that Twitch success wasn't just about playing games, it was about building moments. He leaned into variety, reacting to viral videos, pranking his friends, late-night confessionals, gaming sessions, and eventually high-profile interviews with celebrities. In an era of cookie-cutter streamers, Kai became the wild card, unpredictable, hilarious, and totally authentic. But he didn't stop there. The king of innovation. Most streamers find a groove and milk it. Kai, he kept evolving. He didn't want to just play games. He wanted to create events. He hosted 24-hour subathons, invited rappers and influencers onto his stream, and began orchestrating viral moments that traveled far beyond Twitch. From twerking tutorials with guests to full-blown horror house streams with AMP, he leaned into spectacle. Every stream felt like an episode of a live TV show. And unlike others, Kai understood the importance of community. He constantly acknowledged his fans, celebrated milestones, and spoke to his audience like they were family. The 30-day marathon. In February 2023, Kai took on the most ambitious project of his career, a 30-day live-stream subathon. For a full month, his life was broadcast around the clock. Inspired by Ludwig's legendary Uncapped subathon in 2021, Kai set out to break every record in the book. But unlike Ludwig, Kai meticulously planned every segment, from celebrity appearances to game nights, prank wars, skits, and behind-the-scenes vlogs. The results were explosive. He shattered the subscriber record, bringing in over 300,000 concurrent subscribers and officially becoming the most subscribed Twitch streamer of all time. At his peak, it was estimated that he was generating around $2 million per month through subs, sponsors, YouTube content, donations, and affiliate deals. But beyond the money, the subathon represented something more, proof that a black content creator from humble beginnings could build the biggest channel in the world without corporate backing or mainstream press. Mainstream breakthrough. In late 2022 and again in 2023, Kai won Streamer of the Year at the Streamy Awards, an unprecedented feat for a relatively new streamer. These awards signified that his impact wasn't just within Twitch, it was being felt across entertainment. Kai started appearing on BET, was featured in publications like Complex and Forbes, and collaborated with celebrities like Ice Spice, 21 Savage, and Lil Baby. His brand was transcending gaming. He was becoming a mainstream cultural icon. Twitch controversy. Despite Kai's massive contributions to Twitch's growth, the platform didn't offer him the major exclusivity deal many expected. Instead, they sent him sneakers, a gesture that felt tone-deaf to many fans and fellow streamers. After all, he had just pulled millions of new eyes onto Twitch and set records that would shape its future. This sparked a wave of criticism toward Twitch, with many saying the platform had failed to properly support its most visible black creator. Kai himself remained humble but vocal, questioning why, despite breaking records and making history, he still felt like an outsider to Twitch leadership. What Kai Cenat represents. Kai Cenat is more than a Twitch star. He's a trailblazer, a cultural disruptor, a visionary. He represents a new kind of influencer, one who isn't boxed into gaming, isn't afraid of controversy, and isn't scared to work harder than anyone else. He built an empire from nothing, redefined what it means to stream, and opened doors for an entire generation of creators who don't fit the traditional mold. At just 23 years old, Kai has already accomplished more than most will in a lifetime, and he's nowhere near done. Kai's story is still being written, from million-dollar months to awards, to pioneering a new style of interactive content. His rise is one of the most inspiring sagas in internet history. He turned hardship into humor, hustle into history, and moments into movements. And if you think this is where his story ends, you haven't been paying attention. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Because if there's one thing we know about Kai Cenat, it's that he always has another level up his sleeve.